So it was actually this young girl. She had a kid at the age of 14, and I was just minister to her. So she would just come to the house and eat and have dinner with us. And that morning when it happened, it's oddly that I spent 3 hours asking the Lord to download His heart in my heart, because I was praying for this young lady. So that morning she came, knocked on the door. It was around 10 o'clock. She came, knocked on the door, and she asked me, like, my brother about to get in a fight. Can you please come out? It was two group of boys. It was one, I think, for her brother, and another group of guys that lived in another apartment across like the street, whatever. So I ran out, and I just heard the Holy Spirit just telling me to stand in the middle and just bend my knees down and just begin to pray. It was right in the street because there was this yelling, and they had bats and stuff like that. And I just look in the middle, and then in my mind, just thinking that the only thing could stop this is the Holy Spirit. So I just sat in the middle, I just kneeled down in the middle, and just began to just pray out loud, just asking the Holy Spirit for His peace and to come. And just remember crying, and just remember like for 40 seconds, it was just silent. And that's when I knew that the Holy Spirit came. Then I opened my eyes and seeing both sides just look at me like I was crazy. And it seemed like, I don't know if they seen like Jesus come or the peace of God just came in the area, and all of them was like, it's not worth it, it's not worth it, it's not worth it. And both of them left, and since then, like, they didn't come back and fight in that street. It's very hard to say, like, why do I jump into situation? Like you could say it's jumping in the gap for the Lord. I feel like this being the presence of God just gives the confidence. If I'm not in the presence of God, it'd be very hard for me to jump in a situation like that. I know the power, how much power that Jesus holds, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I know it's not me. And just knowing that like once you hear something from God and you have the heart of God, you can't sit still. You can't just sit still and watch things happen. Just knowing the power of prayer too. It's very important to know the power of prayer, and that prayer changes things.